Hello, everybody. Welcome to, what is this? What exactly is this? Oh, it's Heavenly Album Covers. Heavenly Album Covers. I'm your host, who shall remain nameless. And let's get right into it with some more Heavenly Album Covers. Here we have a gentleman named Les Reed. He was a comedian and a spiritual man. This album is half humor and half religious spirituality stuff. And I really like this cover. Let me get my pointer here. Les has a great smile, wonderful smile, and a great some sort of hair up there. He's looking at the Bible. He's pointing out some sort of passage here. And Les was a evangelistic comedian, which means he was a comedian and an evangelist, if I can say that. Les's album is called More of Les, which is interesting because Les's name is Les, and this album is called More of Les. It's actually pretty clever. So that's Les Reed, and we're going to go to a couple of more albums by a huge group called the Brethren High School a cappella choir. I'll have to get this thing closer one day. And this is a huge group, a huge choir. They're from, well, I don't know where they're from. Let's see. Looks like they were from Long Beach, California. And they were based in Paramount, California. And gosh, there must be 1,000 of the Brethren High School a cappella singers there. And they're all dressed in their green suits. The guys have little black vests and bow ties. And luckily enough, I have another album by the Brethren High School a cappella choir. This album is called Sweet, Sweet Song, and it looks like the choir is in slightly more modern outfits. The girls have long maxi dresses on, and the boys have white ties and red long sleeve shirts. I particularly like the nice trees up here. The trees are great, and it's always good to hide the title of your group down here with red type over green grass. And the Brethren High School a cappella choir was on BA Records. I'm not sure what that stands for, but there you have it. 2 albums by the Brethren High School a cappella choir. Let's go to another album. Slightly different, but with the same spirit. We've got the Goldtones. The Goldtones were from Riverside, California. They're a little teen pop band, and they have a girl lead singer. And this album's great because it's in split stereo, so there's like drums on one side and vocals on the other and bass in the middle. It's quite high energy. And this was recorded live at the Teen Beat Club in Las Vegas, California. And they do a lot of the hits of the time. Wooly Bully, Downtown, Gloria, Walking the Dog, High Heel Sneakers, and of course the big song Midnight in Vegas. And the Goldtones are on La Brea Records. And here we go with another, one of my favorite albums of all time. This is an album by a fellow named Larry Ahlborn. Larry still might be around. He released at least one album after this, and he has a slight presence on YouTube somewhere. And This album is called Larry's Lovenotes. Right there, Larry's Lovenotes. The design has the names of the songs here, plus some technical details here. And these little hearts, these heart-shaped notes. And Larry sounds like early Neil Sedaka, and he's written a bunch of love songs for Jesus, and they're very upbeat, perky. It's a very well-recorded album, and love the cover. I'm not sure what font this is, or if it was hand-drawn, but maybe one day we'll get back to Larry and his love notes. Let's go to yet another album. You can stare at the background for a sec. Now, here's a smaller choral group called the Voices of La Palma. Looks like they're standing in front of their church. They're on Guiding Light Records. This is in stereo. And they've formed an attractive V shape here. It's an assertive V-shaped shape. And the women are in the second row. The boys are in the first row. This person must have been very special because she got to be right in the front. Looks like these are also special people. Maybe the choir director and some of the more privileged students. One day I hope to find this church and maybe recreate this cover somehow. Maybe grab a few people off the street. La Palma is nearby, so we'll see if that happens. Here's another album cover, heavenly album cover, by a group called the Family of God Singers, which is kind of a foreboding title for a group, the Family of God Singers. And they're from Springfield, South Dakota. This is pretty much a generic record manufacturing cover. A lot of times, it still happens once in a while, but back in the late 50s, 60s, 70s, early 80s, family gospel groups and other groups would get their take a tape into a record manufacturing company and have them duplicate press a bunch of records, and the groups could choose between a bunch of different generic covers. This is one of those generic covers. It made it so they didn't have to worry about album cover art. They could just pick something from a catalog and go with it. So this is quite wonderful. I'm not sure if that's South Dakota or what, but there's a nice lake, some trees, more trees. Trees are very big on family gospel albums. A lot of groups love trees, and so they put them on their album covers. Okay, so much for the Family of God Singers. Let's go to a really well-known artist named Korla Pandit. Korla's story has been told and retold thousands of times. He was a TV organist. He showed off his organ on TV. I think back in the mid to late 50s. Women loved him. Everyone loved him. He was a very mysterious guy. And oftentimes he wore this turban. And he played standards. He played strange, exotic numbers. But anyway, he had a TV show. And I recently picked this up only because the cover is so nice. And also it had came with an album that's blue, a blue album. So it's nice to have a blue album with the nice cover. I have several other Korla Pandit albums, and all the all of those albums have blue vinyl. I haven't seen a red vinyl yet, or a yellow vinyl Korla Pandit album yet. So that's Korla Pandit, an amazing artist. And finally we have, this was recorded in a place called Tyro's Supper Club in Long Beach, California. A long time ago. Looks like it came out in July of 1972. There were a lot of these singular cocktail lounge musicians that roamed around Southern California back in the 60s and 70s up until the 80s. And Mike Harris was one of those. And let me have a sip of my root beer here. And I'm going to sneeze, I think. No. And so you've got the cover here of Mike Harris's live album. It's a nice collage. It's actually kind of lovely. It's in nice grayscale. There's pictures of him singing, pictures of Mike Harris thinking and laughing, smiling, playing his organ. There's some of his followers down here, and there's some more followers. And again, somebody like Mike Harris usually did standards, covers of the time, pop hits. But Mike's album is, it's him on keyboards, but like a lot of these guys, they use a cheesy drum machine. So Mike's all over it. And this album is signed, which is nice. Doesn't make it worth anymore, but it's signed. It means Mike actually touched this album, so that's a thrill. Anyway, that's the end of, what's this called? Let me see. This is another episode of Heavenly Album Covers. And I'll see you again soon with more Heavenly Album Covers. Take care. Bye.